So I just wanted to do a short video just looking at Chelsea's pre-season, which is obviously not far away, and try and find a few players that maybe we're not really talking about but need big pre-seasons and maybe are going to have potentially a role to play this season based on what Maresca's done before. So the first one I'm looking at, and this is a slightly odd one, is Robert Sanchez. There were some reports recently that Maresca likes Sanchez, rates him highly, and obviously at the moment you look at the situation in goal, I think Petrovic was probably one of our better players last season. I think we're looking at goalkeepers. There's been interest in Trafford, there's been interest in Pickford, there's been interest in goalkeepers from abroad. So that position still isn't locked down for anyone. And as I said, with those reports that Maresca likes Sanchez, you just never know. You know, if he has a good pre-season, obviously Petrovic is currently at the Euros at the minute. Hopefully he can revive his career. I think he's a good shot stopper, Sanchez. My worry with him is more his decision making. He sort of faffs around on the ball. We saw that against Arsenal, and you know there were some positive signs last season with him, but certainly for 25 million or whatever we paid, he didn't show enough. I think another player that's going to be interesting is Casadei. Obviously Maresca had him at Leicester last season on loan for half a year, and obviously we had to recall him because too many injuries. I don't know how many games he played this season. You know, I know Maresca liked him and was a little bit disappointed that we called him back, and he probably didn't play as much as I was hoping he would. I thought he'd get a few more games at the end of the season, but physically I think he's ready for the Premier League. I think he showed in the Championship he's a talented player, and yeah, I mean, he'll get pre-season. I don't know if he'll stay, but if he can show everyone what he's capable of, and Maresca knows him better than most, then you never know, he may stay. We don't know how Enzo's going to do this season. We don't know if Ugochukwu going to keep fit. You know, there's a lot of unknowns with our midfield. There were some good signs with Casadei at the end of the year, but obviously Lavia was still injured, and let's just hope Enzo's come back from his surgery well. And the final one I want to talk about is another midfielder actually, and that's Andre Santos. Again, there's been reports saying that he's going to stay this season, he's not going to go out on loan. I hope that's true. I really like him. I thought he was great in pre-season last year. I was disappointed that he went out actually, and I suppose with players like Lavia coming in, that's what you expected. But yeah, he's a talented player. Didn't obviously get a go at Forest, but then went to Strasbourg and played really well. And he looks like someone who's ready for the Premier League. He runs, he puts a good shift in, and clearly he's a talented player. You know, Barcelona have been interested in him in the past, and I know some of the big clubs in Europe. I think even Newcastle might have been interested in him as well. So, you know, if he isn't someone who's going to get minutes, there's definitely going to be interest from abroad. You know, they're just three players that I've mentioned. I think someone like Wesley Fofana is probably another one off the top of my head that I would mention. Obviously missed all of last season with a serious injury. It's going to take, I think, a little bit of time for him to come back. I'm not overly a huge fan of Disasi. I think there's a mistake in him. But I can see, you know, when Fofana actually gets going, he'll be back in the team. So fingers crossed he'll have a good pre-season. I'm also looking forward to just seeing, hopefully, Ugochukwu and Lavia's actually start to play again, and Ugochukwu. And obviously, provided we sign some players, you know, see how they get on as well. I don't want to overhype pre-season. I think we've seen in the past Nicholas Jackson was fantastic last year in pre-season, and it didn't quite happen when he came into the Premier League. I don't want to get too excited if results go well, and on the flip side, let's not get too down if results don't start well either. Got a tough opening first game of the season against Man City, and that we'll be ready. You know, we've got some good players, and I'm confident this season. I think we've got a real chance of bouncing back, because teams like Liverpool have shown that they're going to take a bit of transition, I think, with Klopp. And, you know, can Arsenal go again? Man United, they stuck with Ten Hag. Is that the right choice? And yes, we've made our changes, and yes, there's going to be, you know, probably quite a lot of players coming in, but I think we've got a chance. With these players that we've got, we know the talent's there. It's just a case of them developing. We need some more experience around them, but last season was tough. They've had a year's more experience, though, getting used to this league, and yeah, fingers crossed. This is the season Chelsea get back in that top four, back in the Champions League, but ultimately back feeling like a big club again. Come on, Chelsea.